unfortunately.
What happened to the progressive states, supposedly Zimbabwe, when they went into the war? Please tell me about the progressive states.
I think so. I'm afraid the progressive states.
Zimbabwe.
No, but listen. I said last night. No, I said last night this. There's not one country in the world, including Africa, that has stood up and denounced the genocide taking place in the Congo. Or even stood up to say the raping of these little girls in Africa, in the Congo, we don't want to accept. It is unacceptable. We got to stop.
And I think having worked on this campaign for the last 3.5 years, we know now that at least 500,000 women have been raped and tortured in the DRC. You have to ask, you know, when I was in Bosnia during the war in '94, and women were being raped in Eastern Europe, within, I would say, 2 years, the war was over because it was white, middle-class women in Eastern Europe. 40,000 women were being raped and it was over. Like the world intervened. This war has been raging in the Congo now for 12 years. We are seeing the kind of atrocities happening to women's bodies that I can't even talk about publicly because people get so disturbed and freaked out. And where is everyone? It doesn't matter how many times.
Including African countries.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the Lord's Revolutionary Army got to do with this in Uganda?
Who? In Uganda?
Yeah.
Who?
Lord's Revolutionary Army.
Oh, you're talking about the Lord's Army.
What part are they playing?
No. They've been having their own civil war in Uganda for many years.
See, it's still open to
no, not really. No,
it doesn't. See, they want power sharing in Uganda. Museveni doesn't want to share power, just like Paul Kagame.
That's right.
He doesn't want to share power with the majority Hutus in Rwanda. So it got nothing to do with the Congo. I mean, the Congolese, as she says, these women, they haven't done anything.
The war is being fought on their bodies.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with them.
That's right.
You know, when people say things like the Congolese army, it is such a it's such a lie.
Exactly.
I mean, first of all, there is no Congolese army.
That's right.
There's no Congolese army.
Yeah.
What there is, and after Kim Il-sung, they basically took Rwanda's former warlords and they put them in charge of the Congolese army.
That's right.
Okay, they merged them. These are the same people, same militias that were raping women 3 years ago in Bukavu are now ahead of the militias. And guess what they're doing now? They're raping women in Bukavu. The same story.
The same story.
Because basically Kabila and Kagame, I have to imagine, have deals they've made where Rwanda has control of the southern Kivus and the northern Kivus. And I think until we really hold Kagame responsible and make Kagame responsible, I don't know how things are going to change.
They're not going to change.
Unless there's a women's revolution, and that's what I'm working on.
He has the support of all the Western countries. Who they supposed
Paul Kagame and Museveni, Rwanda, Uganda, and this young man in Kinshasa, who is also Rwandan, they are all working together for the same thing.
You said he's a Tutsi.
He's a Tutsi, yeah. Listen, 2001, when Laurent Kabila was killed, there's a lady in Belgium, in Brussels, by the name of Brackman, or Colette Brackman. She is the expert #1 on the Congo. Whatever she says on the Congo is what's happening. She wrote after they killed Laurent Kabila that.
What's her name again?
Colette Brackman. You can Brackman. Yeah.
Okay.
She wrote in the paper Le Soir of 19th of January, I think 2001, that this young man, Joseph Kabila, his mother is Tutsi, Rwandan, and that he grew up in Tanzania, right? He's not Congolese. Now, why the U.S. doesn't know this? I mean, don't they read the papers in Brussels? Don't we have an embassy in Belgium? We do. Don't they read Le Soir? They got somebody who knows French who reads Le Soir. So don't we know this? We know by what happened. In 2001, Bill Clinton, who was behind the invasion, was president here. So they wanted to, that's why they put the young man president, because so that they can control both the government in Kinshasa and the Eastern Congo. And so this, see, when you don't face the truth, nothing's going to happen. That's why, you know, during the Holocaust in Europe, we had to face the truth that Hitler was no good. That we had to go in there and kill him if we have to.
Right.
You understand? If we don't face that truth, as she says, maybe we're going to have to wait until the women makes the revolution and kick out all these guys who've been gang raping them.
That's my hope. That's my hope.
That's
because
your
I think that the women of Congo are already beginning to organize, and particularly in Bukavu and in Goma and all over Bunia and in the villages. And I think there's a real campaign happening now.
Yeah.
And I think women are so strong and fierce. And I think if they are supported, women could absolutely turn the situation around in the Congo. But if
they are supported,
yeah, if they're supported,
and look the work you do. Go outside, try to even raise some funds. Right. Bring it there to help them build their own little city, when the government that is getting all these millions of dollars from all over the world is not doing anything.
No. But City of Joy, I just want to say, is this amazing place in
That's
Bukavu.
What you're calling it,
it's City of Joy.
Okay.
And it will be opening in the fall.
Okay.
And each 6 months, there'll be 100 women who will be there, who will be supported, loved, trained, healed, to become the next leaders.
Okay.
And then they'll leave and they'll go back to their communities, and they'll have little centers where they train women in their communities, and then another 100 women will come. And it's an unbelievably beautiful place. Google just agreed to do a whole tech center for the women.
Wow.
There's a radio station. There are fields that women will be planting. They're developing products. There'll be dance, there'll be theater, there'll be therapy. And I believe, like, really, if we keep working and we keep going in the next 5 years, we will see a major, major change with women in the Congo. So that's my hope. I don't believe in governments anymore. I don't believe in the UN anymore. We've been there, we've spoken, we've begged, we've pleaded, we've cajoled. It's going to come from the people, it's going to come from the women. And men who are allied with the women, who understand that if you destroy the women of the Congo, you destroy the future of the Congo. If you destroy women's reproductive organs, women can't reproduce, and there will be no more Congolese.
That's right.
That's what the genocide is. As Dr. Mukwege says, you know, when you rape a woman that badly and you destroy her vagina and her uterus and her every part of her that has to be removed, that is a woman who can no longer reproduce. So you've essentially destroyed that life continuing, that generation. And really, that is unacceptable.
And the struggle actually is really just beginning. Because you know, like you say, you don't trust any government. So if there's no government that stands up to stop this, then these women have to keep on organizing. It might take them a little while. 2 years you're giving them?
2 to 5. 2 to 5.
So they have to organize until they're strong enough. And you know, in Africa, usually the woman is looked at the weak sex, you know. They don't expect her to lead the revolution. So now if women begins to organize to lead the revolution, first of all, there's going to be opposition. Remember one of the movies they showed over there, where the women comes to the city and then they're beginning to blame them for what's happening to them.
But you know what? In the last months in Bukavu, we've seen a lot of really major change where religious leaders, they did performances of the vagina monologues all over North and South Kivu in the last 2 months. And they did it in churches, and religious leaders came, and lots of men came, and there was incredible solidarity and discussion and change. And I think things are changing. I really do. I think there's like a groundswell that's beginning to move things along. The atrocities continue as well. And that's the problem. Like, you have these two currents going at the same time.
Now, and the other thing is that, especially with what's happening in Kinshasa, because see, the president in Kinshasa should be about protecting the people in the country.
First of all.
Not first of all, that's your task.
Yeah, exactly.
But when the president is actually killing, like they just killed this NGO's guy who...
Floribert Chebaye.
He would have been working to stop this, you know, killing and expose the violations of human rights, and just came from Europe. Went back, the chief of police calls him for a meeting, and the guy disappears. Gone. And they're not even afraid to say that this man is internationally known and that we should not touch him, maybe put him in prison, maybe torture him a little bit, but take him out and go and kill him and just dump him in the forest. You see how bold they are? Now this is the capital city, Kinshasa. That's where he got killed. So if the president is killing, how is he going to protect the women?